Hello and welcome to Easy Card Tricks 101. My name's Carter.
And my name is Nathan.
Today we're teaching you the essentials, the card tips and tricks that you will need to know in order to become a master magician.
The first one up is shuffle.
So knowing how to do a good shuffle is probably the most important thing you can learn as a magician. Now there's two main types of shuffles. The first one is pretty simple. You first split the deck into as many pieces as you want, usually two. And then you make sure your cards are spread out about a bit. And then you simply place each half of the deck on top of each other. And you can continue to bring them together. Or you can actually, there's a faster way, which is where you put your middle finger and your thumb on either side. Bend them together like this. And then let go with your thumb. And it will bring all the cards together. And is also an impressive thing you can do to the audience. And then the next type of shuffle generally tends to make the audience less suspicious that you're not doing anything with their card. And this is kind of the average shuffle that you'll see most of the time. So how to do this is you want to break your deck again into two. And then you want to bend your cards like this. Bend each pile. And then what you'll do is you'll actually release one of them. I'll release this hand first before the other. Slightly before. And then release the second one. And it will flick all the cards together and it'll merge these two piles together. And then you can do the same thing. You can bring them in like this. And that's personally my favorite way to shuffle. Now, a shuffle is really important because it builds trust between you and your audience. It makes it proves to your audience that the deck is being mixed up. For example, if they put a card somewhere, it shows them that you're not keeping track of their card. But also, if you can do a good false shuffle, which we'll get to later, it's a good way to hide what you're doing and make them think that everything is legit. So, up next, the fan.
So what you want to do for the fan is grab the deck like this. So 3 fingers on top, and then your pointer finger on the side. So now what you're going to want to do is move the deck, just slant it a little bit. And then slowly push off, and it will fan out the cards. So this is very useful when in a trick when you reveal their card or something has happened to their card, and it is much more quickly and less suspicious than just doing this. Because if you're doing this, then the audience might say, well, maybe you flipped the card or did something while you're doing this. But if you just do a quick fan of their cards, then they will be less suspicious and they will believe more that your trick is magic. Next up on the list is false split / pinky break.
Okay, so right now I'm going to teach you how to do a false split and a pinky break. So, splitting a deck is pretty simple. It means you just cut the deck in half, or maybe 3, any number of pieces you want. But a false split involves, for example, someone taking a card out of the deck, an audience member, and they put the card, let's say the Jack of Hearts. They put the card on top, for example, or on the bottom. And then you can keep track of this card by moving it to the bottom, moving it to the top, and things like that. And keep an eye on their card like that and know its whereabouts. And a pinky break is very similar. So let's say this Jack of Hearts, let's say they've drawn it from the deck and they put it in the inside. You can form a pinky break by slipping your pinky into the gap of where it is, but of course without letting the audience see. And then having its whereabouts known the whole time. And then you can do a false split and things like that, and be like, okay, I'm just going to break the deck. This is your card. Something like that. It's a useful tactic and useful tip and trick for lots of card tricks. And this will also go hand in hand with a false shuffle, which we'll do later. But up next, we have sleight of hand. So, sleight of hand is a very complex theme in magic tricks, and it's essentially the basis of all that magic is. But today, we're just going to teach you of the bare essentials of sleight of hand, and just a little bit of what it is. And we're going to go more in depth with sleight of hand on a future video, probably make a future video all about sleight of hand.
For sleight of hand, what you're going to want to do is, well, I'm just gonna explain sleight of hand first. Sleight of hand is basically hiding something from the audience. So say in the video we made before, you had that card upside down, right? So like you ask them to pick a card, and that's sleight of hand because you're hiding that back card. You don't want them to see that that's flipped over. So that's like a part of sleight of hand. There's also another thing in sleight of hand called double lift. So what double lift is, and like when you act like you're gonna pick up one card, you actually pick up two. So I'm just gonna like do this with 3 cards. So you put one card down, or like you could have one card in the back. You double lift the first one. You double lift the first one, and then you have the last one. So to double lift, what you're gonna want to do is kind of bend those 2 cards and don't let them see it, so it looks completely normal. And this works for a lot of tricks. So that is sleight of hand, hiding something from the audience. Next up is false shuffle.
So false shuffle is a tactic that is very simple but very useful. So it works something like this. Say you have a card on top, the 9 of spades, for example. What you're going to want to do is have a deck. When you split the deck, have one side be slightly larger than the other, slightly thicker than the other, like this. And then, of course, you'll start this one first. So when they shuffle, it actually ends up that their card has not changed places. It's still on the top.
Keeping track of a card pairs with a false split or a false shuffle very well. That's basically what it is. So say on top we have the 9 of spades. So say if I just false split this, like this, and then like I do that or something. That's just a really simple one that somebody's gonna catch on to. But just for example, that's the 9 of spades. That's keeping track of a card. You find out where that card is and you keep track of it the whole way. Whole way. You just keep keeping track of that card. And again, 9 of spades on top. That is keeping track of a card. So this is how to clean up your deck. Okay, so if after you play like war or something and your deck is like this, and you don't want to spend like 5 minutes just trying to do that, if it's all messed up, say like this, then what you're gonna want to do is that was actually a really bad one. So if we mess it up again and then pick them all up, as you can see, they're all messed up. But there is a faster way, if you guys didn't know already. So what you're gonna want to do, so you line all these cards up so like they're on either up or bottom. And then what you're gonna want to do is hold all the bottom cards with your thumb, like this. So hold all the bottom cards with your thumb, and then turn all the top cards into the bottom. And I will show that again for you really fast. If I just quickly mess up the deck, put it back all together, and then I will show it again, just as a demonstration. Okay, so this deck is messed up, right? So what I'm going to do is move the cards over a little bit, hold all the bottom cards with my thumb. As you can see, like, this is just holding the deck. This hand right here is just holding the deck. But this hand is, as you can see, my thumb is on those bottom cards. So I press really hard so they don't move. And then I move all the top cards into the bottom cards. And that's how you can do it in one move. That is how you clean up the deck.
Okay, so the last tip of the day is how to spray a deck. And this is not really useful, but it's just a cool thing to do. So what you're going to want to do is take your deck and you're going to squeeze it like this, like bend it like this, and release each card quickly by scooting your fingers back like so. Ready, and that is how to spray your deck. And you can also spray them into your hand and catch them. And this will make for a really cool effect at the end or beginning of a trick, for example. So thank you. This was Easy Card Tricks 101. I'm Carter.
And I'm Nathan.
We hope you enjoyed this video. Stay subscribed to see more great magic tricks.
Tell me where it's